When we went towards his car, I was really scared. I waited for the nightclub doors to open, but no one came to save me. I guess I was in trouble. Hi, my name's Tina. How old do you think I am? I'm sure I look at least 20 when I'm wearing a dress, heels, and makeup, right? But actually, I'm 16. And yeah, I'm still in high school. I was always taller and bigger than my classmates. A couple of times they even mistook me for the teacher, as I was always a head taller than everyone else. I inherited my height and body constitution from my parents. My dad used to be a basketball player. My mom's a volleyball player. Anyway, they met at a sports competition. They liked each other and started dating. After 6 months, they got married, and then I was born. But when my dad's sports career ended, he couldn't find a job. So he stayed home all day long, and he started drinking with his friends. And one day, he was drunk and fell down the stairs in our house, and he terribly damaged his spine. There was hope for his recovery, but he died. He left me and my mom. As it turned out, he had large debts and loans. Of course, I didn't work as I was still in high school. My mom had to pay all the stuff. Of course, sometimes I offered to help her. I told her I could find a part-time job, so I didn't ask her for pocket money, but she refused, saying I should focus more on my studies and go to a decent college. My mom worked day and night. In the morning, she coached kids in a school volleyball section, and sometimes she worked as a waitress in a local nightclub. She was always tired. Sometimes she didn't even have any weekends. I saw how hard it was for her to provide for me, and I was always grateful to her. I really wanted to help my mom, but I couldn't think of any job to get. But anyway, I took all the house chores. I cooked, cleaned, and went shopping. When my mom had some free time, we would go out on a picnic or just go shopping together. Many people who didn't know us were sure we were sisters, because I looked older than my age and my mom looked younger. By the way, people always tried to hit on her. It's funny that some people came up to us together, wanting to know me, but they only heard the answer, "This is my daughter, and she's only 15. You should see their faces. When I was about to turn 16, my mom asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I knew we couldn't afford something expensive like an iPhone or Mac. And anyway, I didn't really want my mom to spend money on gifts for me. So I just asked her to take me to the nightclub where she worked as a birthday present. Many of my friends have already been there. They were accompanied by older friends and had no problems at the door, but I still couldn't get in, and I really wanted to. I can't say my mom liked this idea much, but I promised I would never leave her so that she didn't worry something may happen to me. I just wanted to dance, relax, and have fun on my birthday. My mom wanted to make me happy, so she agreed. It took me a long time to choose what I would wear. Everything I had in my wardrobe seemed kind of teenage and not suitable for a club. So, knowing my mom would definitely agree, I opened her closet and chose a stunning black dress that looked great on me. I thought my mom would grumble a little when she saw me, but she got so excited. She hugged me and exclaimed, "I look like an adult, and I was like her." We had no problems getting into the club as my mom knew all the security guards. We got in and immediately went to the dance floor. My mom ordered cocktails for us, soft drinks for me, of course. We raised our glasses to my birthday and started dancing. Yeah, we definitely looked just like two friends that night because with my makeup and my mom's dress, I looked much older than my age. Guys came up to me all the time to get to know me, but I politely refused everyone, saying I didn't want to get acquainted. It's not like I didn't like anyone, but they were all about 10 years older than me, and I was still underage, so I thought such a relationship may have some problems. When I was too exhausted to dance, my mom and I sat down at a table to have a drink and relax. Suddenly, my mom's colleague approached her. She said her boss wanted to see her. The boss found out my mom was now in the club, and she needed to tell her something important. My mom told me to stay where I was and left me. She promised to be back in 5 minutes. I can't say I was afraid of being alone in the club. I just felt uncomfortable. I was just drinking my cocktail and looking around when suddenly a man sat down on the couch next to me. I gave him a slightly startled look. He was about 40. He was wearing an expensive suit and a Rolex watch. He smiled and started talking to me about something, trying to get to know if I was alone here. I explained to him I wasn't alone and I didn't want to get to know him. But he was more insistent than the other guys, So he insisted on getting to know me, moving closer to me on the couch. When he grabbed my arm to pull me out to dance with him, I was really scared. Fortunately, at the same time, my mom came to the table and asked me what the heck was going on here. The man rudely replied it was none of her business, but my mom stood in his way, saying I was her daughter and it was all her business. The man was surprised, looking at me more closely. My mom waved her hand and called the guards, who immediately started to make their way through the crowd in our direction. My mom released my hand, hiding me behind her back, and said the man's going to have some serious problems as I was underage and there were plenty of witnesses around who saw he had molested me. He got very scared. He looked around, put a thick wad of money on the table, and said he didn't need any problems and quickly headed towards the exit. My mother waved to the guards again, saying it was all okay, and she sat down to count the money. Of course, after this incident, I wanted to leave the club as soon as possible, and I told my mom about it. She nodded, put the money in her purse, and we drove home. At home, I asked my mom why she took the money. She honestly said the man clearly didn't need the money, but we did. He gave her the amount my mom would earn on 2 jobs for 3 months. I agreed this was the right decision. We got home and I went straight to bed. In the morning, my mom had a surprise for me. She said she now had a plan for us to make a good living without working a single day. It sounded rather dubious, but I decided to listen to her. To put it mildly, her plan shocked me. My mom said the incident that happened yesterday at the club really got in her mind, especially the fact that some men are willing to pay a lot of money to avoid any trouble. My mom suggested the following scheme. Once or twice a week, we go to any club. We sit at some table and just look around, waiting for a big fish to bite me, a wealthy adult man. Next, this man would suggest to continue the evening at his place. We would go out to the parking lot, and then my mom appears, saying I was her underage daughter and she would now call the police. Or she may turn a blind eye to what happened if he paid a small reward for it. My mom said all the rich men have a reputation in society which is priceless, and no one wanted any black spots. So they would all immediately agree to pay a tidy sum to my mom to just forget about it. I thought this idea was quite shady, but I really wanted to help my mom pay all the debts and live a good life so she would work less. And this was a real chance. So I agreed. We decided in advance we would never go to the club where my mom worked, but we would go to those located in other parts of the city. Before our first adventure, I was very scared. What if it didn't work out? What if we're exposed? Or what if my mom doesn't make it to the parking lot and a man would drive me away? As it turned out, I worried in vain. We found a candidate almost immediately. He invited me to go to his place just after an hour of talking. I agreed, texting my mom to get ready to show up in the parking lot. We went to his car. He opened the door for me, and immediately my mom jumped out and started shouting she was my mom. I was only 16. She saw everything, like many other people in the club, and she would call the police for sexual harassment with a minor. The man got so scared he laid out a wad of money without even any hints from us. Then he quickly got into his car and drove away. The money he left us would have been enough for 2 or even 3 months of carefree living. Well, maybe my mom's idea wasn't that bad after all. We were both happy and everything went just fine. We decided we shouldn't show up too often, so we arranged such outings once every 3 weeks. Over time, we also realized that it's better to even go to neighboring cities where no one knew us. Men easily got our deception. Of course, Mom had to threaten some of them, but most of them were too scared for their reputation and they quickly gave us money. For almost 6 months, things were just perfect. My mom and I were saving up to pay off all our debts and moved to another city when I graduated from high school. No one knew about our night business. My mom left her job at the nightclub. She wanted to quit working at the volleyball section too, but I convinced her to stay there so that no one had any suspicions. And then we had an unpleasant incident. Everything was as usual. A club, a rich guy, his suggestion to go to his place. We went out to the parking lot, and he took out his car keys. At this point, my mom usually appeared, but she still wasn't there. The man opened the door and asked me to get inside, and I knew if I did, he would take me away and no one would help me. I was so scared. He almost forcibly wanted to put me in the passenger seat, but then, fortunately, my mom appeared and we played the performance we had already rehearsed several dozen times. The man gave us money and left. My mom said there were some problems with paying our bill. Her Apple Pay didn't work for some reason, and no one would let her out of the club until the bill was paid. After that incident, I got scared. I'm afraid one day my mom just wouldn't make it, and I would have to pay for all the performances we played in various parking lots and nightclubs. What would you do in my shoes? Would you tell your mom you wanted to stop cheating people? Or would you just keep doing it, making money? Text your answers in the comments below. I promise I will read them. If you liked my story, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to turn on notifications and always stay tuned. See you guys later. Bye!